Good morning, welcome to Fairy and Spoilt. I've just come on here today because I want to talk to you about the ex-bully ban in the UK. So from the end of December, it's going to be illegal to own an ex-bully dog unless you've got a certificate of exemption. Now, I'm not on here today to talk to you about the rules and regulations of it. I'm sure that if you've got an ex-bully dog, you are well aware of it. Or if you've got a dog that's the size, because it's judged on the size of the dog, not just the breed. It's a mess. Quite frankly, it's an absolute mess. Decisions were clearly made by people who don't own dogs. But what I want to talk to you today about is, I can imagine how awful this feels. Now, I don't own an ex-bully. I own a Humps, and I own a little dog that looks like he lives in the bins all the time. And then over here, I've got my Harry. They're all rescue dogs, all came to me with severe behaviour issues, which we sorted out. That's what I do. I rescue dogs that have severe behavioural issues and sort them out. But my dog before, but I've noticed a couple of things I want to talk to you about. My dog before these was a German Shepherd, and he was a big German Shepherd at that. I'm only a little lady. I'm only 5'2". He was a big German Shepherd, so I do understand the way you are treated with a big dog. And that was before all of this happened. But I've noticed a lot. I'd probably say the last month, that when I'm out with my boys, I've noticed people are so much more cautious at walking past us. And how we walk, my boys, is I walk Humps here and Harry, and then my husband walks little Albert. Because believe it or not, he is by far the hardest dog to walk. He really is he's a gorgeous little creature, but you know, anyway. So I walk with the two dogs. They're very well behaved. They're obedient. I've put a lot of training in with them. They'll sit and wait when someone walks past. They're very well behaved. But I have noticed people are so much more cautious. And you can see they're not big dogs, so you can't really see Humps there. He's asleep. But he's a corgi mix. We've no idea what he is. He's a corgi mix. I've got no idea what Harry is. He's some sort of concoction of things. But again, you can see he's not a big dog. And yet I get looked at. And I've noticed, especially I've noticed it with children. Some just won't pass me. Like if we're walking down a bit and it's not very wide, they really don't want to pass me, even though the dogs are just sitting quietly and waiting. And so I'll pull them into me as close as I can. And what I have done sometimes is some children have looked really scared, so I will stand in front of my dog. So I'm standing between the person that wants to walk past and my dogs, even though my dogs are just sitting perfectly. They're not, you know, they sit. I tell them to wait, and they know. They sit and they wait for the person to walk past. And I've noticed that in the last month, it's getting worse. People are really cautious at walking past me. And that's fine. I mean, I don't blame them. I mean, it's, you know, all over the news constantly in the UK about dog attacks and stuff. And don't get me wrong. Please do not ever be watching this and say, yeah, but they are attacking people. Because, yes, they are attacking people. And they've killed people. And that's not what I'm on here for. I'm not on here for that. You know, personally, I believe that any dog can kill at any time. You know, it's not, you know, and, you know, you've heard it a million times. It's not the dog, it's the owner. And I couldn't agree with that more. But what I want to talk to you about is if you've got a dog, it doesn't even have to be an ex-bully dog. I mean, I think just as dog owners in the UK, we're all under scrutiny at the moment. And in a lot of ways, that is not a bad thing. In a lot of ways, that is going to sharpen up a lot of bad dog owners. But I do know how it is for me, and I've just got my little dogs. But when I had my last dog, my German Shepherd, he was a big boy. And again, incredibly, you know, I did loads of, he was trained, very, very well trained. And he would sit quietly and just wait while somebody walked past. But I know the reaction that he got just because he was a big dog and how it made me feel. So really, what I'm just coming on here just in case anybody's watching it who's in a situation where they've either got an ex-bully dog or they've got a dog that is big enough and fits the size criteria. So although you don't need to get your certificate and it won't need to be muzzled in public and all of that, people are going to look at you all the time and they're going to be judging you. So this is what I would say to do. Make sure that you can train the dog to sit and wait when people walk past. So before this all happened, didn't always ask my dogs to sit when, you know, I'll just walk past people. I wasn't that bothered. But since this has been happening, I've upped my training on asking them to sit and to wait. And they've been doing that. So I've really upped that. So if you can, just sharpen up your sits. So if you ask your dog to just sit, he will do it. And the thing is, I think that if you can ask your dog to sit and he does it, it reassures other people that you're in control. It doesn't really matter if the only command your dog can do is sit. It just shows that other people that you do have some control of your dog. Obviously, if you do have any behavioural issues, you're going to have to go to a behaviourist and get that sorted out. As with any dog, you know, any behavioural issues do need sorting out. Certainly any aggression issues do need sorting out. But if you've got a dog that's perfectly nice, but, you know, perhaps not as trained as he could be, just put in the sit-in. It looks impressive. If someone comes to walk past, you just say to your dog, wait. My dogs just know wait means you have to sit. You have to sit and you just have to wait until the person walks past. But if you just teach your dog to wait and sit, it just looks good, and it will help you feel confident, and people around you will feel confident. The other thing, obviously, if you do have the ex-bully breed, you've got to stick to the rules. As much as I hate it with every fibre of my being that you've got to put your dog on in a muzzle all the time, I absolutely hate that. I hate it so much because I think a dog's walk is such a vital part of their day. And sniffing, I'm such an advocate for letting dogs sniff as much as they want to on a walk. It's so stimulating for them and so vitally important. That putting a muzzle on a dog, yeah, sure, a dog can still sniff with a muzzle on, but it's not the same as putting their nose right in the thing. So I'm so massively against it. However, it's now the law, and if you don't abide by it, they're going to take your dog away. So you have to stick to it. So as much as I hate it, do stick to the law and do put the muzzle on your dog. And you got to keep these dogs on the lead at all times. Again, I'm so massively against that because some dogs, my dogs are fine on the lead. They couldn't care less. They're not really fussed because they do so much sniffing and because they're older now. But some dogs need off the lead running. And if you're in the UK, if you don't know, we have a thing where you can hire a field, and they are popping up all over the country. It costs £10 an hour, and it's a field, and it's enclosed, and it's just you go there, and you can let your dog off and have a good old run around, and he's enclosed. I don't know where the law stands on that, if you're allowed to do that or not, but it's worth looking into. It is an enclosed area. I don't know. Look into that, but I can't stand it. I really can't stand it to think that these poor dogs have got to always be on the lead and always be muzzled. I can't stand it. But please, you know, stick to the rules because the consequences are going to be so much worse if you don't. Try not to get like if people say stuff to you and they make comments about your dog, whether he's an ex-bully or not. As hard as it is not to get defensive, try not to, because you getting angry is just gonna concrete for them the opinion of dog owners that have large dogs. So, and I know it, trust me, I'm a right fiery little redhead. I'm probably the last person who should be preaching about this, but if you can, just try and stay calm. Don't rise to it. And I know, you know, these are our dogs, we love them dearly, and people are coming at us, and it's not right. It's really not right. I know how hard this is. I know how hard this is. And I know how hard it is for the people who don't have the ex-bullies, but they do have breeds that match the sizing, but they're actually not an ex-bully. So they can prove that they're not an ex-bully because, you know, they're not. They're like a Labrador crossed with a boxer or whatever. But you are gonna get people who are going to say stuff to you, and it's really hard. The other thing I really feel about this is that there is a risk that dog owners are going to stop walking their dogs because of how the public are reacting to them. Please don't do this. Really, I know how hard it's going to be. Please don't do this. A dog being walked every day is vital for his health, for his mental health, for his whole being. Please don't do that. And I know, like with Humps over here, he came from South Korea. He was a breeding dog his whole life. He experienced abuse so bad that I've never talked about it on my channel, and I never will. And I know that walking him is such a vitally important part of his day, physically and mentally. It has repaired him. When he came to me, he was completely broken, physically broken, couldn't walk, broken, mentally shut down, really aggressive, broken. And now he is fit, he's healthy, he's such a friendly boy. And, you know, it was down to so much stuff that I did, but walking him is so important. And he gets a 45-minute walk every morning without question. And, you know, obviously there were days when it can't happen because I'm really ill or something's happened, or maybe he's ill, but, you know, pretty much every day. And it's so vitally important. And not just, you know, on a lead and walk, but sniffing him, letting him sniff, letting him know his surroundings. It's so important. And also the other thing is that if you walk your dog every day and people see you where you do it at the same time, not necessarily the same walk, because that's just boring for the dog, but if you're round and about at the same time. Like I walk my dogs every morning at the same time, but I do all different routes around. We live on a big housing estate, and I do all different routes around my... One day we'll go around this way, one day we'll go down this road, one day we'll go down that road. And I get to see the same people every morning. And so what you've got to hope is that if you do that and they see you doing this thing where when somebody goes to walk past, you ask your dog to sit and they wait, that they will trust and they'll be like, yeah, that person walks a dog every day and they're good and it's fine. The other thing is, and I know I'm always blabbering on about this on my channel, I know I'm endlessly going on about it, but your energy is all you've got to communicate with your dog. Yeah, sure, well, that's not actually true, because I talk to my dogs and they read my body language like nobody else, but it's such a vital part of how you communicate with your dog. And you know how it works. If you stay calm, they stay calm. If you get agitated because somebody's coming, they're going to get agitated. If you grab hold of your lead, put them on a really short, tense lead, they're going to feel that and they're going to get tense. So I know, again, it's really, 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 really hard. I know that. I do know that. Please believe me, understand. But you've got to stay calm. And if somebody's going to walk past you, and I know that your dog's probably not aggressive. It's the people that are coming towards you that are probably aggressive. And you're worried about them making snarky comments. So don't get worried about them. And honestly, just ignore them. I know how hard that is. And really, you have to believe me how hard that is for me to ignore people like that. But please just ignore them. Don't take on the energy and don't give that bad energy to your dog. Just go, you know what, that's their problem. They don't understand. They don't understand you and your dog. They don't understand your dog's behaviour. They don't understand the relationship you have with your dog. They don't understand how loving your dog is. Please, 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 don't take their nasty, snarky, negative energy into you and then give it to your dog. Your dog doesn't deserve that. Your dog's going through enough with the fact that the stupid government abandoned. Don't take the narky energy from people and give that to your dog. They make their snarky comments. They give their snarky look. Fine, just let them make that, let them do it, and just actually physically in your head, just think you've given the snarky energy back to them. You're not taking it, not today, no thanks. You keep your energy, I don't want it. You keep it over there, I'm staying nice and calm and positive for my dog. Don't let it happen. And for people who walk past you looking nervous, you show them. You put your dog in the sit, you wait nicely, you're nice and relaxed, shoulders are nice and down, leads down by your side, nice and relaxed, nice and calm. You show them that your dog is a dog they don't have to fear. And like I said, it doesn't mean it's a big dog. I get it with my boys and they're tiny little things. So, you know, we all get it. So I just wanted to come on here just to let you know that I'm thinking of you. And I guess also, I mean, okay, so I'm in the UK and it's something that's happening to us in the UK at the moment and it's very big in our lives. But, you know, this goes around the world with any dog that's banned in whatever rules you have to follow, however it works for you. It's the same. It's the same with us all. And it can't, you know, even if, you know, you've got a breed that's not banned, sometimes we just take ridicule from other people for no reason. And the other thing is, and I think this is really, really important as well, sometimes you're going to be out with your dog and your dog's going to play up. It happens to me. In fact, Harry, this morning, I'll give you a classic example. This morning, I opened my front door to walk out. We've got a little bit of a front garden, probably about 10 steps before you get to the gate. And somebody walked, it was dark when I left walk this morning, and somebody walked past a neighbour I know, walked past my front gate with his dog. And Harry, for whatever reason, just barked. So I opened the front door and he barked. And I imagine it scared the life out of the owners, because suddenly I've opened my door and then the dog's come barking at them. And he didn't get to the gate because he was on his lead, but it happened really quickly, and I managed to quickly stop him and put him in a sit and stop it. But you know, that did not look great. And that's the thing with dogs, is there are going to be times when you're out and they're going to misbehave and they're going to be naughty. And if that happens, let it go. Just let it go. It happened. Move on. And I said sorry to the owner of the dog. I shouted out sorry, and he was like, no problem. And we're all fine. And there are going to be times when you're out and your dog's not going to behave in the way you wanted him to. Let that go. It happened. If you can learn from it, do something with training, move on from it. Just let that go. Don't take that and be like, for the rest of your walk. It happened, move on. Because you will not, all you're going to do is make the situation worse. If you get ratty about that or upset or anything with that, you're just going to make it worse. No good can come out of it. No good can ever come out of any rattiness, frustration that you have with a dog. No good. You have to get yourself back down to calm. Again, I know that's not all easy, but you just have to. It's the best way to get your dog nice and calm, and that's the best way to show the public that we know what we're doing. They don't have to fear all dogs. It's just our stupid government and their stupid rules.